Hello everyone and welcome to our Global Perspective project.
Education for All. We are Isabella Osorio, Jin Jona, Sara Victoria Borges, and Silvana Jóvenes, students who genuinely believe that people our age can create real change in our community. Throughout this process, each of us took on different roles that help structure a dense, well-organized, and meaningful project. But today, what truly matters is the story behind our work and the impact it aims to create. For starters, our global project is education, based on SDG 4, Quality Education for All. We choose this because education isn't just teach content, it shapes futures. It decides who gets opportunities and who is silently left behind. We found it dramatic and unfair that a children's future can be determined not by their talent or effort, but just simply by their school they attend. That truth is why it inspired us to act, and it guided the research question at the center of our project. To what extent do public schools in Colombia fall behind in providing education in ICT, English, global perspectives, and science compared to private schools? And how does this sparsity affect students' academic development and future opportunities, especially when comparing GCB with La Balsa School? When we began investigating this question from a global perspective, we realized that the problem of unequal education is not only Colombian, it's a worldwide issue. UNESCO reports that 244 million children and youth are out of school, and more than half of those who attend are not reaching minimum proficiency levels in reading or mathematics. Countries such as Nigeria, India, Brazil, and others face stories similar to ours. Public schools lacking technology, overcrowded classrooms, and inconsistent teacher training. In contrast, places like Finland or Singapore show that strong public systems can outperform many private ones. This global comparison taught us something important. Inequality is not inevitable. It's the result of decisions, policies, funding, and social priorities. Organizations such as UNICEF, the World Bank, and UNESCO have been fighting this issue by improving training, funding technology, and strengthening public systems, but the world is far from achieving equality. On a local way, our research showed that public schools fall behind for many interconnected reasons. Deep socioeconomic inequalities, families who cannot provide academic support, unstable internet access, lack of bilingual education, poor classroom infrastructure, and limited exposure to global skills like ICT or research are some, but there are lots of more. These gaps produce consequences that follow students for life, meaning they achieve lower test scores, they have reduced chances of entering university, have fewer job opportunities, and cycles of poverty that repeat across generations are affected. And when this happens on a massive scale, it affects our entire country, on aspects such as the economy, its competitiveness, and its ability to develop.
For our project, we also took into account experts' perspectives towards Colombian education. Researcher Manuel Acevedo explains that public schools do not lack talent, they lack the conditions to nurture it. Also, the pedagogy expert Julian de Subiria emphasizes that the gap between Colombia's public and private education is one of the main reasons social mobility remains so low. And the Minister of Education reports that private school students score 36% higher in English exams, while only 17% of public school students have proper access to ICT labs, and more than 60% of rural public schools lack a stable internet connection. These numbers reveal a clear truth. Education inequality in Colombia is not an abstract issue, it's a measurable structural problem our country is facing.
We are students from GCB School, Gimnasio Colombo Británico, and this is one of the best schools throughout Colombia. To make our research personal and grounded, we also focused in a public school to make a comparison, to which we chose La Balsa School, which is a public institution located in a low-income area. Many of its students face economic instability, limited technological access, and fewer hours of bilingual or scientific learning. During an interview, one of their teachers told us something that marked our project forever. He said, "Our students have incredible abilities. What they lack is someone who pushes them to explore their potential." This sentence carried both hope and sadness, and it reminded us of why we began this project in the first place.
From there, we knew that we had to take action. To determine whether there was a real academic disparity between the two schools, our team designed 4 standardized tests for ICT, Science, English, and Global Perspective, which were carefully created so both schools would be evaluated under the same exact conditions and criteria, and for it to give us quantitative data and how much needed the public schools to be helped. When we checked the scores, the results confirmed what our research suggested. La Balsa students had significantly less exposure to English vocabulary, almost no experience with ICT concepts, limited scientific skills, and little familiarity with global issues or critical thinking activities, which worried us a lot. But discovering a problem wasn't enough. We wanted to do something to change it. So we organized teaching lessons with the students at La Balsa. We taught them support classes, we played interactive educational games, practiced English, explored science experiments, introduced basic programming, and guided them through the Global Perspectives activities. During these sessions, we connected with them, understood their challenges, and saw their incredible potential. Their motivation and willingness to learn showed us that the issue was not about intelligence, it was about opportunity.
After completing all the activities we had designed, we wanted to make sure that the students had truly understood the concepts we were teaching. For this reason, we created a series of small games and interactive challenges to test their comprehension in a way that felt fun rather than intimidating. Through these games, we were able to observe a clear and steady improvement in their concepts. At the beginning, it seemed unfamiliar for them or confusing because they didn't have the knowledge before, but it became easier for them to explain, identify, and apply their knowledge. Their participation increased, their confidence grew, and by the final sessions, we saw a noticeable change in how they approached the topic. This progression showed us that learning, when done through engagement and creativity, can truly transform their understanding.
We also wanted our impact to last beyond our group, so we launched a campaign at GCB to recruit volunteers willing to give part of their free time to help public school students. Our goal was to build a student-led system that could continue year after year. Many students joined, and this proved that collective action can multiply change. One person can help, but a community can transform, and we are certainly transforming the future of many students from La Balsa School. Thinking bigger, we also explored how different communities can work together across Colombia to address this issue. We have found some strategies like partnerships between private and public schools, after-school tutoring programs, shared resources, stronger internet access, and community-led educational clubs could significantly reduce the gap. Countries like Peru, Guatemala, and South Africa, which face similar disparities, have implemented these community programs that have strengthened the public education and have increased their graduation rates. Colombia could adopt similar strategies to make our education for all. However, for long-term national level change, larger structures must also act. Government policy must increase investments in ICT labs, ensure teacher training in bilingual and digital skills, and foster public-private partnerships. Global organizations also have a role in helping fund resources, monitoring process, and providing international expertise. As we finish, we want to leave you with a message. Education should not be a privilege. It should not be determined by geography, family income, or luck. It should be a right, one that opens doors, builds futures, and allows every child to dream. Throughout our project, we learned that one class, one volunteer, or one moment of support can change a student's life and inspire them to be bigger. If young people choose to act, even in small ways, they can create bridges where the system has built walls. So today, we invite you to be part of the change. Be the person who encourages someone else to explore their potential. Be the connection between opportunity and talent. Be the reason a student continues to believe in their future. Let's create a country and a world where every student, public or private, has the tools to become who they want to be. Education for all, it's not just our team goal. It's a promise, and that promise begins with us, and with our small actions we can take on their daily life. Thank you very much. We all hope you liked our project. Bye bye and see you next time. To support our fundings, we relied on credible sources that helped us understand the educational gap and shape our project. These references provided the evidence we needed to make informed decisions to ensure our work was accurate and meaningful. Come and check them out.